Welcome, everybody, another edition of I'll Hang Up and Listen. I am Duane from Two Goalies, One Mike. Sabres get absolutely boat raced in their own house tonight, 6-1 by the Tampa Bay Lightning, the defending Stanley Cup champions. And, of course, we all know the debut of the infamous Jack Quinn from Rochester, who, before he came down with mononucleosis, was leading the league, I believe, in points and or goals. I'm not sure if producer Steve, who's going to hop in here in a second, can give us a better breakdown of that. But, quick thoughts for producer Steve in is this team absolutely sat on its heels all night and watched. They did a lot of watching tonight. They got out physically battled in all three zones of the game. The one goal that drove me the most, infuriated me the most, was Kucherov's goal to start the second period. First shot on Malcolm Subban of the night. Guy literally could have sat there and knitted a sweater after he took the pass, just uncontested. Nobody stepped up on him. Nobody got in the lane, and he just walked in, took his time, and absolutely sniped it by Malcolm Subban. Got a piece of it, but that's not the guy you want to be, testing your goalie for the first time of the night after coming in cold after a first period from sitting on the bench. So not a good showing tonight by a very depleted Buffalo Sabres lineup, to say the least. But I'm going to bring in producer Steve here, who was at the game here tonight, to give his thoughts. Steve, you were there firsthand for Jack Quinn's debut. What 6 shots on goal. Had in my opinion, next to probably Vinny Hinostroza, was probably the best forward on the ice for Buffalo tonight. Out of 18 shots, he made up, as you mentioned before the show, he made up 30% of their chances and probably had their best scoring chances of the night, for sure, without a doubt.
I'm not even going to try to say it nice. Jack Quinn is the only fucking Buffalo Sabre that showed up to play a hockey game tonight. Everyone else sat on their hands, sat on their heels, did not even pretend to play like people who are paid professionally to play a children's game, and they just got fucking, you know what, I need to complete the wardrobe change because this is not a happy JJ Paterka, be stoked about the future jersey night. This is not that night. This is a night to break out the GOAT, the relic. This is the first night, and I hope the only night this season, where we break out the Where's Kim bullshit combo. Never forget, 18-game losing streak. It's not that bad right now. But that said, this was the most fucking egregious. This is the worst night of hockey they've played this year, and I don't think that that's an understatement. Again, like chiming in on what Petey's been saying all fucking week, just absolutely soft body play. I think I saw somebody take the body like maybe 3 or 4 times all night, one of which was a nice body play by Joker, which is nice. Oh my God. Chris Durick, absolutely, yeah. Thank you for wearing the bullshit hat, because that's what this game was. It was absolute bullshit. There's no nice way to say it. And I've been trying to be nice about it all season, but this was just a I don't want to be a parody of the Letterkenny coach, but this was just fucking embarrassing. I sat there like, it's not 18-game losing streak bad, but this just, that pit of just disappointment and shame and anger, just knowing what this team could be and then just seeing what they did. Just, trying to hump a football out there. It's just, it's fucking, there's no other words for it. It's fucking embarrassing. And when Jack Quinn, in his very first game, gets 30%, and I'm not exaggerating, 6 of 19 shots were Jack Quinn. He's a rookie. Very first game. He should be the kid that's so nervous that he's about to shit a brick rather than potentially score 2 gimme goals that get robbed at the last second. It's insane. I mean, I'm glad that he was as confident as he was. That shows that he's the guy that we drafted 8th overall. But shit, that somebody else has to help the poor kid. Like, Dylan Cousins and Vinny tried to set him up, but damn, it can't just be him. This is a roster. 18 people. Where's the rest of the team?
It was extremely difficult to watch. They played on their, like I said, they played on their heels a lot tonight. They didn't really engage much physically in front of their net. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's what the play was a lot of tonight, because I tweeted it out earlier tonight. I saw a lot of pucks go off that far side pad of Vasilevsky, and then you saw Buffalo finally able to bury one of Vinny Hinostroza off a Colin Miller shot. And Colin Miller wasn't shooting to score there; he was shooting for the rebound, which is exactly what you want your players be doing when you're outmatched that much skill wise. You make the simple plays, you shoot for rebounds, you crash the net. There were a lot of opportunities there early in the game, in the second period, especially where not that I would say the second period, in the first period, where you were throwing a lot of pucks on his far side pad and the rebounds were there. We just weren't there to capitalize. And I think Don Granato said it best in his post game. They held Buffalo accountable for their mistakes. I mean, Buffalo didn't hold them accountable for theirs. They were greatly outshot, greatly outmatched. I mean, it was a clinic out there for Tampa Bay. They just, the passing was pristine. Shooting, it was like a lot of the times, even when it was 5-on-5, it felt like we were shorthanded for a lot of that game.
Yeah, I mean, there were what was that? 3 separate breakaways that could have potentially been nice gimme goals. One of them was on the stick of Olofsson, who earned his $3 million per year scoring goals. I mean, I know he had a rough shoulder, I believe it was shoulder or wrist, but I don't think he's scored a goal since he's come back from that injury, and I think he needs to break this drought, because I'm starting to get scared that kid might have the yips. Like, he's just forgetting to do what he does best and just snipe, score a goal. You got to take that shit top shelf that just, again, it bounced right off that left pad, like you were saying.
It almost feels like maybe he's not even playing at 100%.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, there's something just not right there. The zip isn't on his shot. I don't know. Like, maybe you're right. He does have the yips. I don't know. But, Victor Olofsson just does not look like the same player since coming back. And it is very concerning, if you ask me, because that's a guy you really that's a guy you really need to step up and make plays, especially in the beginning of the season, how much better he was looking 5-on-5. He's the guy you need to step up. You need him to step up in situations like tonight. And that breakaway he got, I mean, it was a nice play to get the puck away from Hedman at the blue line. He needs just to bury his head and dig as hard as he can. He got cut off by foot there. I'm pretty sure Olsen at least 2 steps on him once he took away the puck. Why are you not just digging, and why are you allowing foot to cut you off? And you're not able to get the shot off that you want to shake, and you're kind of forced to take a far side angle shot from a little bit farther out than where you want to, especially with a shot as dangerous as this. You want to be able to get in tight and really pick your spot there. And he didn't dig. He didn't get the shot he wanted. Like, I don't know. Maybe like I said, I just feel he's not at 100%.
Yeah, I don't know what his deal is, but kid needs to shape it up real quick. I mean, it's obvious that there's a lot of forward talent coming in the game, and coming next year. And I don't want, Victor Olofsson's an RFA at the end of this season. So if he doesn't start showing that he can be a 200-foot forward who, can not only contribute defensively, but can also actually score goals, which is something that is sometimes expected of forwards, he could see himself potentially being the odd man out. I mean, there are a lot of people that have one-year deals that are, UFAs that, we're probably not going to see him again. We're probably not going to see Cody Eakin again. We're probably not going to see Vinny Hinostroza again. We're probably not going to see a lot of these guys again. But honestly, I think that's a good thing, because I think we need to start making space for these people that have these, 3-year entry-level contracts, because it's hard to build a team identity when your bottom 6 is just a rotating, revolving door of 1-year contract guys just trying to find a place in the league, and Buffalo's the only spot left, desperate enough for depth, and they get these 1-year contracts. They they do the best they can with what they got, and then it's okay, we'll see you. And I don't know if they go off to the AHL or somebody else picks them up. I don't know what happens to these people. Sometimes you get lucky. You're Zach Bogosian, you get picked up by the Lightning because they're riddled with injuries, and look at that, you just found yourself a new home. Good for you. But and again, I like Olofsson. I like his ability to finish. I like what he's done with his defensive game. I don't want to see that kid become the odd man out, because given how long he's been with the team, it would be nice for him to be a part of that culture growing forward. But I mean, ultimately something needs to change in his game this year, because, this is kind of a show me year, it's RFA after this. So, they'll have to make a qualifying offer if they want to keep him, right? So, and they gotta know that it's worth it. And if it's not like we don't have the money, but still, do you really want to spend the money on a guy that isn't really fitting into the culture going forward?
Yeah, you were texting with me earlier today about it, with him being an RFA. Like, that's gonna be a tough decision for Buffalo to make, right? Like, you have him at a good number right now, but does he fit into your long term plans? And I personally think he's more of a perimeter shooter, a perimeter scorer. He's not a guy that's gonna really wow you with his hands. He's not a guy who's going to be a playmaker. A consistent playmaker at least. He's a perimeter shooter. He's a guy that you're going to have, inside the dots, just around the perimeter, who's going to shoot and bury from that area. Kind of like Jack Quinn, but I think Jack Quinn has a little bit more upside than Olofsson, as we saw tonight, man. Like, he had so many chances, but I think Jack Quinn has more to offer than Victor Olofsson in terms of shooting, and just being probably at the end of the day, when both are fully developed, being a more of a all around good hockey player, both ways. He's really driving me nuts. You need more from this kid, and that's why I just feel, from what the guy we saw to start the season to the guy we're seeing now, something's not right. Something's missing there. I really do believe he's probably playing through an injury.
Yeah.
You got here Chris Dirk. I miss guys like Paul Goss, Jochen Hesch, and Jamie McGinn. Guys who are willing to dig and fight for pucks in the corner and score goals every now and then, but also have that presence in the locker room. I agree. And I mentioned in our group chat, like, why do people think that Nick Ritchie isn't good for this lineup? I just don't understand it. He is essentially Patrick Maroon. You take away the Stanley Cups, which, I mean, yeah, okay. Patrick Maroon was a big part of those teams in St. Louis and Tampa Bay. But at the same time, they're the exact same size. I think Maroon might have an inch on him, but they're the same weight. They play the same style of hockey. And I think Nick Ritchie's I know Nick Ritchie's younger, and he probably has more upside if he finds his game again, on the score sheet at least. And you watch games like tonight where you're getting absolutely, out-muscled and out-bodied and bullied around. Is Patrick Maroon skating around laughing at us if he's got to go out there and deal with Nick Ritchie every other shift? No, he's not. He's not. Because Nick Ritchie is a guy who wouldn't allow that. That's why I just don't understand why people think that he wouldn't be a good fit on this team, especially in a season where you're dealing with COVID. And honestly, every other week you're going to be dealing with players being on the COVID list. Why not have a guy either in your locker room or already on the taxi squad like Nick Ritchie, ready to go at a moment's notice? Like, I really think, especially because he played on two different teams. I know, he started with Anaheim and he went to Boston, which again, that's a little big city. It's not the biggest city, but in terms of market and focus on its sports teams, it's pretty polarizing. And then he goes from Boston to Toronto, where it's Toronto, Montreal, the hockey mecca of North America. So, the media is very scrutinizing there. I think he could thrive in a city like Buffalo, where, yeah, the media can be tough here, but it's nothing like compared to those two cities.
I mean, yeah, I think there are still people even right now trying to drag Tuukka Rask in the comments of some Twitter threads, And I mean, Tuukka Rask has been an institution for the Boston Bruins for over a decade now, and he's he's kind of just been the whipping boy for that franchise for so long, and yet he's and again, I fucking despise the Boston Bruins, but I can't begrudge the fact that a lot of their success does come on the shoulders of a guy like Tuukka Rask, and to see him just be, thrown out to pasture and just kind of forsaken by so many people, just like after one shitty game here and there. Like, everyone's going to have a shitty game. Jeff Skinner had a fucking terrible game. He looked like 2019 Kyle Okposo out there. He was gassed all night. Like, I hope, was he on protocol? Because he might be about to. Like, he just seemed out of breath all night. He didn't do anything. He kept doing those drop passes to no one. Okay, for the last time, if no one is behind you, don't do a drop pass. That's the only time it fucking works. So if there's no one following you for the drop pass, don't do the drop pass. Because they're just going to take the fucking puck. Stop! Yeah. Stop doing it! You're making me be Duane. I don't want to be Duane. Duane does a better Duane than I'll do. But I'm fucking mad. Just stop doing dumb shit. Fuck!
I'm so over. I tweeted it out.
So frustrating.
I find it difficult to stay awake during games. I really do, and that's tough for me to say, man. Because even as long as ago as like last year or the year before, I would, even with how bad this team's been, like I would still, watch games from start to finish. And this year's just been especially difficult, man, because like we all knew what the season was to be. It was supposed to be about individual development. Young players getting more of an opportunity, which we've seen guys thrive, like Casey Middlestat when he's healthy, Tage Thompson, Dylan Cousins, seeing these guys getting these opportunities to play and thrive with those opportunities. But like the consistency is just the only thing they're consistently doing is losing. I mean, it's the effort's there, notwithstanding, when you don't count tonight. The effort's there. They're battling. They're going down fight swinging. But, at what point as a fan base do we sit here and say enough is enough? Like, we can't do another year of this. I don't want to sit here and talk about Shane Wright for the next 6 months. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to be that guy. I don't want to fucking have that be like the main topic of the main narrative for Buffalo Sabres fans for the next 6 months. I don't want it. No, please, no.
I mean, we can't just keep putting our eggs in the basket. All right, let's go ahead and read this. This is a nice little novel here.
Yeah, Nick Ritchie can be a good asset in all phases of the game, but our issue right now is that we need to get shit together and show we're going to fight and compete. Because if we don't, guys like Ritchie will not step foot in the room. If I was Owen Power, I'm probably asking myself, should I even come to Buffalo? I don't want to think that, but fucking act like you care. Fuck. Trust me, these guys do care. Don Granato, is a guy who's going to let them go out there and play hockey. We don't see a lot of nights like tonight. Yeah, they're losing, but like they don't go out and give that effort every night. That was, I don't know if that's with you're not having guys like Tuck and Okposo and Tage Thompson in your lineup. I think, those guys do make a huge difference. I don't know if they make that big of a difference tonight with how bad they looked, especially like in their own end. But
yeah, I would have liked having Tuck, Krebs, and Okposo in the lineup.
That too. I think Owen Power added this lineup. He knows that he's going to log some very significant minutes and get a lot of opportunities in Buffalo next year. And you got to remember, we have 3 first-round picks in the 2022 NHL. Three first-round picks. Like, we don't know how they're going to utilize them. Shoot, there might be a guy that maybe Kevin Adams has his eye on, via trade, where he might try and utilize one of those picks to go and acquire. That's going to be an immediate impact player on this team. I'm thinking way ahead. But I really think this team, you're not going to have Vinny Hinnistros. You're not going to have Hayden. You're not going to have, Gergensen's career along with Okposo's coming to an end. I'm not saying they would buy Okposo. I think Okposo.
They each got one more year left after.
Yeah, I think both those guys probably finish out their contracts without a doubt. Especially with
maybe they'll try to put them on waivers.
Taken on this year, but for me, it's just. There's a lot of players in this team that are not going to be here. I personally, and I know you've been pretty high on this too, I wouldn't mind them keeping Mark Pysyk around just because he is valued, I think, as a right-handed defenseman.
Yeah.
and he's very stay at home. He keeps the play in front of him. He doesn't make many mistakes, and he knows what he is. He doesn't try and play outside himself and be a defenseman that he isn't. Offensively, stick handle the puck. He gets pucks on net, and plays well defensively. So I think you could see a guy like Pysyk maybe sticking around. But your Will Butchers, you got your
goodbye,
Hinostroza. Who did you say?
Bye. I just said goodbye.
Yeah, those guys are gone, and you're gonna make room for guys like Krebs and Quinn and Paterka next season. And there's gonna be some other faces too, I think, and I think that I know we'll probably see that are gonna help more than those guys are. Granted, I think Vinny Hinostroza is a guy who's really outperformed our expectations this season. Was he at like 7 or 8 goals in the season right now?
7 as of tonight, I believe.
7 after tonight. Yeah, I mean that's something I wasn't really expecting on a Vinny Hinostroza. Maybe that gets you something at the deadline. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like guys kind of playing outside themselves. If he's like a 12, 13 goal scorer, maybe that gets you like a 3rd round pick. I don't know. I think that's a win for Kevin Adams, right? That's a huge win.
Yeah, I mean,
you're telling me you're getting a 3rd round pick for a guy like Vinny Hinostroza?
I think he's got like a
win. If you ask me, I know
3rd round picks are guys
are, years away after you draft them, but that's a win if you ask me. Colin Miller won't be here next year. That's a certainty.
No.
There's a lot of guys that are not going to be that are in this current lineup that won't be back next year.
There's honestly the Bryson of it all. The left side's getting stronger and stronger every year. We haven't even discussed whether or not Ryan Johnson, who is also, I believe he's a junior this year in the college world, he could potentially be trying to make a claim for a spot, or at the very least come to Rochester. Maybe a guy like Matthias Samuelsson finally gets his look. I don't know. But I think the bigger thing is that we can't just keep relying on these, year-long entry-level contracts for guys that still haven't found their identity, still haven't found their place in the league. Like, we got to start, putting our eggs in the basket of the people that we're signing, drafting, getting on entry-level deals, people who we can actually build a culture around. Mm-hmm. Because if, half the team just comes and goes on a yearly basis, how the hell do you build an identity as a group with the core pieces if literally everything around them is just coming and going and scattering? Oh shit. Looks like it's just me now. All right, well hopefully he comes back. Let's see here.
Sorry about that, Steve. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there either, but we're still live. It's good.
We're good.
Wasn't expecting. All right, here we go. Wasn't expecting big things. I knew we were going to see losses this year, but when you lose like this, it's just extremely frustrating, tough to swallow. I got much more to say, but I'd rather listen to you guys and save it for your channel. Right on, brother. Again, this is the first time that I've felt an inkling to wear the Where's Kim jersey. And I hope that I don't have to wear it again this season. This was just the first night where they basically no one came out to fucking play. Jack Quinn came out to fucking play because it's his first game, and he did so much better than I thought he would have possibly done in his NHL debut. I'm so excited. I think if he has some more offensive power, if it's Cousins, Quinn's, and a competent winger that's not Vinny Hinostroza as a permanent forward fixture, I think that line could do a lot of good things. I think Cousins and Quinn are clicking with each other, just already. And that was 60 minutes of one of the worst games they've played all season. Fuck. Yeah, this team needs to start building that identity, and I think part of that identity does need to be somebody who can actually play hockey, but also actually teaches them to use their body. And I do think that Tuck could be a part of that equation, because in his first game, we were talking about this in text, even though he just came back from 6 months of recovering for a shoulder surgery, he was throwing a lot of checks, a lot of hip checks. Mm-hmm. But he was throwing his body around. He's not afraid to get into it. And I think if anybody's going to teach these guys that, you can't just poke, check, stick, poke. You cannot just stick poke the Tampa Bay Lightning and hope to get possession. You got to body these fools. You got to take them out of the equation if for no other reason that after they make that pass, it's going to take them 3 to 5 seconds to catch up with the play that they just created. And that's one guy out of the equation. And I think if Tuck is sticking around and with a contract as long as his, I hope he is. I hope that he teaches all these young kids that every so often, you're going to have to throw the body. You're going to have to get nitty. You're going to have to get gritty. You're going to have to get ugly. You don't have to get dirty and like malicious.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a physical fucking game.
Yeah,
you got to play it physical.
There was a lot of puck watching tonight, like you said. One of the first goal they scored, Jacob Bryson stopped and coasted back to the play. I think it was the Polak goal. Maybe it doesn't make much of a difference, but he stops and he coasts and he just tries to stick check. I'm like, dude, skate through him. Just skate through him. Even if he still gets the shot off, maybe you disrupt him enough by skate. Like, don't stop skating. Skate through the guy. Like, that just drove me nuts. I just, there were a lot of things about tonight that, I go back and I watch it and it's just like, Jesus Christ, guys. Like, what are we doing? Like, stop playing so soft. Get physical out there. Get angry. Like in dodgeball, get angry. Get mean. Like just like, how to wrench at somebody. I don't know. Like, Jesus, come on. Like, just play a little bit of little bit of physical hockey. It makes a difference. Like Andrew Peters pointed out in that last game at Aspen in the corner. It was just like, dude, you coasted, you skated hard in to get to the mat, to get on the
stopped at the last second.
And you just stick checked him. You should put a body on him. Put a body on him. Create the turnover. That's what's lacking so much with this hockey team. And just like, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but Nick Ritchie's the type of player that you want because he's going to go out there and he's going to do that. If he knows he's playing for his career and he's not playing in a city where he's literally every little thing he's going to be doing is going to be talked about after the game. Why aren't you producing? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Like a city, like it happens in Toronto or it was happening in Boston. Maybe he'll thrive in that type of a setting. Maybe that weight will be lifted off his shoulder. He'll come into Buffalo and play like a wrecking ball. You know what I mean?
Spotlights.
Even if he's not scoring 10 goals for me, even if he's scoring 7, but he's literally every time he's out on the ice, he's making his presence known and making guys hesitate when they have the puck, especially behind their own net, behind our net, or along the boards. They have to look over their shoulder because they know big rig Nick Ritchie, whatever the fuck you want to call him, might be coming. That kind of hesitation can create a turnover. It makes them make a bad play up the boards. Like, that's the whole point of having a guy like him.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would thrive in a city where the spotlight isn't on him, and especially next year, if he was coming here next year, I mean, we're gonna be infinitely more focused on Quinn, Paterka, Krebs being permanent fixtures, Owen Power making his debut. Maybe some flashes if a guy like Portillo or Levi leave the college system and then go to the Amherst, get a couple call-ups here and there. I don't know. But I don't think anyone's going to be, losing sleep at night because, Nick Ritchie, if he just had his stick on the ice that one time, he might have been able to bury that deflection, but it just hopped right over his stick because he wasn't quite playing. No one's going to do that to Nick Ritchie in Buffalo. Nick Ritchie is going to be the dude that's just throwing people over his head or standing people up like a brick wall like Risto would, and it's like, oh, yeah, great, good. You'll get a couple goals, but you're also not going to be wrist lining and get bodied by a ghost in the corner for no apparent reason, Yep.
That was
I don't know, man.
That was a tough game to watch.
Yeah, we gotta get some sort of actual fucking identity on this team, and it can't just be, we got a lot of heart. We can't. We got to play like it every night if we were going to be the guys that got a lot of heart. If there's nowhere to go but up, you can't go this far down. Like, I don't expect you with a half AHL lineup to, reasonably compete with the back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, but you got to pretend you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It might be a 3-6 game instead of a 6-1 game. I could live with that. You went out there and you did something. You don't rely on 30% of your offense from a kid making his debut. You don't get one and only goal that anybody paid professional hockey better be able to bury if that puck gets on your stick in that situation. Like, door closes, but then a giant cathedral-sized window opened on the other side of the net. So there you go. Congratulations, Vinny Honestros. But Jesus, that was just fuck.
Yeah,
that was miserable.
Sabres play again on Thursday. They travel to Nashville, and then on Saturday they travel to Detroit for a back-to-back against them. Or Detroit, I think, comes back to Buffalo on Monday. So, maybe I know Detroit's having a decent season, right? I think they're having a decent season this year.
Yeah, they're doing much better than anybody
expected. Better than last year.
They were down there with us in the predictions of they're just going to be fucking bad.
And they're not.
No one expected Cider.
Right now they're right around 500
to be as good as they are.
They're 16-4, playing in San Jose at 10:30 tonight. So a lot of interesting stories come out of San Jose too with Evander Kane. Expected his contract will be terminated and he'll have a new team soon. I guess there are teams out there that are interested. I heard Calgary is one of them.
If Tony DeAngelo can get a fucking contract, Evander Kane can get a contract.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of either of those guys and the types of human beings they are, but hockey's a business and people care about if they're going to go out there and produce. So that being said, Steve, I got nothing left. Not much to say. Only positives you really can take out of tonight are obviously Jack Quinn and his debut, 6 shots on net out of their total 18. They had 30% of their shots on goal. And obviously the biggest negative outside of the loss was the injury to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
I'm really hoping
it's a lower body injury. Don Granato said in the post game that that he wasn't sure right away what exactly it was, but the training staff knew precisely what it was right away. I'm hoping that's not hinting towards something involving his hips. He has had issues with his hips in the past. He's had double hip surgery. And your hips are pretty vital when you're a goaltender. So let's hope that's not what it is, or his knees or anything like that. I just hopefully whatever it is, not very serious, because I think Malcolm Subban might have been hurt there during that game after that collision with Maroon, because every time he got up, there was some hesitation when the play was leaving the zone. Like you could watch him. He looks like he was has something lingering from that Maroon hit that he took a penalty for. So hopefully there's nothing there, and we're not looking at Aaron Dell being called back up to Buffalo, because give me Michael.
I'm sorry, but give me Michael Hauser. I'd rather see Michael Hauser than Aaron Dell. But a couple clicks for Malcolm. Yeah, he let in that fucking gimme goal right off the hop. But after a certain amount of time, I think the other two that he faced, those were just like somebody was right on the barn door, not being taken by the defenseman, and no one, there's nothing he could have done. Yeah. But after that, he tried to get his game back together, and essentially like fighting through a mild concussion. I'm guessing.
Fuck's sakes, I
want to see Malcolm Subban finally get a fucking W. But couple clicks for him for turning it around after getting put in the worst possible circumstances.
Yeah,
second period start,
just hanging in there. Just
one of the most lethal power
slaughter, because that's what that was.
Literal firing squad.
Sticking tough, but with that, guys, this has been another fun yet depressing edition of I'll Hang Up and Listen. Yes, there it is. Where's Kim? Hashtag Where's Kim? Thank you, Richard. Thanks for subscribing. Guys, remember, subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search Two Goalies, One Mic on YouTube. Give us a couple likes, couple comments. And please subscribe. It does help us a lot when it comes to getting the show noticed and getting exposed to the hockey world, the podcasting world. Subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Two Goalies, One Mic. Pound that subscribe button. Give us a 5-star rating. Really appreciate it, guys. It helps us a lot. We appreciate you for sticking around here late into the night. It's 10:44 p.m. Gonna probably fall asleep watching something here tonight. One last comment: big save by UPL on Kucherov. Credit to him for the way he's playing, because we have to bring up, because we have had to bring up, because we've had no choice given the circumstances, and not because we felt like he wasn't ready. I agree. a couple clicks for UPL for sure. So that kind of guys, I'll hang up and listen. Remember, this is brought to you by Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. Why haste? Go to the place to buy a case. Exactly, right there. There's your cover photo. This is another edition of I'll Hang Up and Listen, guys. We'll see you on Thursday night against the Nashville Predators. Peace.